Hello, everybody. I'm Fred Favors, and welcome to my new segment, The New Entrepreneur. Today, I'm in studio with Corben Wilson, one-on-one financial coach on being a great financial steward with your money. Corben, welcome to the studio, my friend.
I appreciate you, Fred. I'm happy to be here.
This is a great time, man, to have you here with so much going on.
Yeah, speak on it.
You know, everybody I talk to tells me that things are tougher than they used to be. Inflation is rampant. And what you bring to the table are the fundamentals of being a financial steward. Tell me, what is a financial steward? Talk to me about that.
Love the question. So what I say at Miles 1000 Financial, good stewards of money, to be a steward of money, that is someone who is diligent, responsible, trustworthy, and efficient with managing their money.
That didn't fit a lot of us. What percentage of people do you find, of the people, your clients that you work with, what percentage of them have a financial understanding of their money?
Good question. I would say this. 95% do not have a solid understanding of where all their money is going. I would say the 5% of people that have an idea, all they need is the nuts and bolts a little bit, kind of fine-tuned a bit.
Got it.
But the large majority of people do not understand where all their money is going. A large majority of people don't even fully understand what it means to efficiently and effectively strategize their paycheck.
Let's backtrack for a minute.
Okay.
How and why did you become a financial coach?
Because I myself, at one period in time, was living paycheck to paycheck. I myself, one period of time, was relying on debt to fund my life. I saw it in the home.
Yes.
I saw my mother doing the same exact. It's learned behavior.
Yes.
Right?
We're never taught the fundamentals or the ways of being a good steward with our money. Never taught that in high school.
Never.
Even college really never teaches us. And never taught that at home. Because our parents a lot of times didn't know.
Right.
So we become good at what we do a lot of times, carpenter, entrepreneur, whatever, but we don't understand money. Talk to me.
Making money for a lot of folks isn't the issue. Right? It's managing the money that is the issue. It's understanding how to efficiently and strategically allocate your money that is the issue. So if I circle this back, and we talk about good stewardship and what that is, someone who is diligent, responsible, trustworthy, and efficient with managing money. Well, Then we have to then ask ourselves, well, what does that look like? What needs to happen? And so what I say is people need to understand how to set clear financial goals. These cannot be vague. You can't just say, I want to have savings. I want to have money set aside for a rainy day. We need to know exactly what is the dollar figure, how much needs to be saved, and then each time you get paid, we need to build out a strategy that's getting to the goal. We need to set clear financial goals. We must develop a money game plan.
And this is difficult because you're talking about most of America, a lot of America, never been taught this.
No.
Don't understand it.
No.
And it's difficult because so many years have gone by, generations,
right,
without having this information.
Right.
And so that's isn't that one of the toughest things to get people to understand that? And what are some of the basic things you find about the clients you work with that we can talk about? What are the basic things that most, if not all, of your clients fit as you do the assessment of these people?
So I noticed this. Regardless of how much money someone... Okay, so let me backtrack. This is not a money issue, first and foremost. Let's say this. Okay. So anyone listening that may be curious about meeting with a financial coach, I want you to just hear it from me. However much money you make, I can sit with you. You do not need to have a certain dollar figure that you make every single year in order to qualify to sit with a financial coach. Right? Yes. Honestly, in any of our young people listening, if you're making, like, you're in college or you are just starting out in your profession, and let's say you are mid-20s, early 30s, even better. If I can get you even earlier, even better. But the age, so income and age does not disqualify you. My oldest client right now is 70 years old. And she is learning these principles for the very first time at age 70. And I am seeing the light bulb turn on. Right? It's not difficult principles. If a 70-year-old woman who has experienced a very full life can now start to understand these principles, and I'm seeing, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. When I meet with some people and they make a little bit of money and we're only able to save, true story, $4 out of their paycheck, all we can save towards, let's say, an emergency saving is $4 every single time they get paid. But imagine this, before they met with me and before they even understood how to strategically allocate a paycheck, they weren't saving anything.
Wow.
And if they were saving money, let's say they were saving $50. Some folks tell me all the time, Corben, I'm saving approximately $100, $200 every single month in my savings account.
Right.
But what tends to happen is because people don't have the full entire financial picture, the savings that they think they're doing something with, setting aside for a rainy day, they have to pull out of their savings account and use for bills.
Wow.
Because they have not strategized the game plan. It's not just enough to save.
We talked about something that you learned from your mother looking in the refrigerator about having broader vision as far as, talk about that.
Yeah, so my mother used to tell me growing up, she said, Corben, don't be so tunnel vision. You're looking at something, but you're only seeing what you want to see. You're not looking at the full totality of the situation.
And that's how we look at our finances.
Boom. And that's how people look at debt also.
Wow.
I call it debt tunnel vision, Fred.
Right.
People who are, and maybe you've experienced this. I know I have.
Yes, I have.
If you have a large amount, it doesn't matter if it's high interest credit card debt, you have a high auto payment, you have personal loans, you have medical debt, you have student loans.
Yes.
Debt keeps you up at night.
Yes.
You want to get it gone.
Yes.
We live in a society where we instantaneously use debt for a lot of different things, but it's so much easier to get into debt than it is to get out of debt. And I tell folks, going back to being debt tunnel vision, when I work with someone who wants to get out of debt aggressively, and they want to put half of their paycheck, maybe less than half. Okay, let's use numbers. Let's say someone has $2,500 that they make on a pay period. They pay some bills. They get some groceries, they buy some gas, they go out to eat, and let's say after all that, they have $700 left in their bank account, let's say, right, to utilize somewhere. And 10 out of 10 times, folks who are in debt, they want to pay $700 aggressively towards that debt because they think that's the right thing to do.
They do.
If I have extra money, I'm going to put it all towards the debt. But I call that debt tunnel vision because you're not looking at the totality of your situation. You have a vehicle registration payment coming up in the next couple weeks.
Right.
It's going to cost you maybe $180 plus a smog, maybe additional $30. Mm-hmm. You have your mother's birthday coming up in about maybe 2 months, right? You have your anniversary coming up and maybe in the next couple of months.
These are annual things that always happen. We always get them, and they're not subject to change.
I call them your out of sight, out of mind bills. Right? They don't come every single month, so they're out of sight and out of mind, but they come in.
Yeah, they come in. Now, not my wife's birthday. I don't forget that one, though.
Hey, me neither.
I like to eat at night.
Come on now. But I tell folks this. Here's a very easy example, because a lot of folks get into the holiday spirit around Christmas, right?
Right.
People love the Christmas shop, Fred.
They do.
People get in the holiday spirit, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing. When Christmas comes around, I saw it in my household all the time. When the holidays come around, Christmas doesn't change. December 25th.
No.
Every single year, right?
Yes.
But every single year, folks are like a deer in headlights thinking, what? It's already, Christmas is already here?
Oh,
I'm not prepared.
Oh, boy.
But family comes into town.
Yes.
My babies are asking me for the Christmas list.
Yes.
Santa's coming into town.
Yes.
And so I need to splurge a little bit of money that I don't have.
Always.
Right? And so I tell folks, we need to treat your annual bills like monthly bills. The same way you pay your rent or your mortgage or your phone bill or that Netflix payment every single month is the same way you want to pay for Christmas, the anniversary, the vehicle registration. You should be putting money towards that every single month. Easy example. Let's say you start in January, going all the way to December. That's 12 months. Let's say you want to have $1,000 come Christmas time. Well, if you save $100 a month, right? If you're paid bi-weekly, $50 every 2 weeks in a dedicated account that's just for Christmas. Come Christmas time, you'll have $1,000 that you can spend guilt-free on Christmas. And here's the catch. If you decide to use a credit card, that's fine, because you have $1,000 stashed away in your account ready to pay off that statement balance in full. You're not bringing debt into the new year. The cycle is broken.
What do you tell your clients about eating out? McDonald's and, Starbucks and, of course, the Beverly Hills set. What do you tell your clients about eating out?
I tell my clients this: I want you to enjoy your money. I want you to enjoy your life. If you get excitement or pleasure out of eating out, then I want you to do it. But I want you to do it responsibly. I'm not the kind of financial coach that says you should just be on beans and rice and you can't go out and have no fun anymore. A budget, that's not what a budget is for. Hear me on this, anyone listening. A budget is just supposed to give you permission to spend money. So when you go out to eat, you know for a fact, I have $54.33 set aside for dining out.
Right.
If I go above that threshold, then that means some of my other financial goals are going to have to get hit.
Big point. Because most of us, if we have $103 in our pocket, we go to the restaurant with some friends, $103 is going to be spent.
Right. Our money is finite, right?
Yes.
There's only so much of it, right?
Yes.
So how we utilize that money, then, it needs to be strategic, and we need to be efficient with how we allocate our dollars.
Corben Wilson is here, special guest. One-on-one financial coach, Miles Stiles, and he breaking it down because, look, when you do an assessment, it's like a guy going to the doctor. You come in timidly, you know how we walk in the doctor's office, look around and fill out the information, and we don't want to get all the information down, and but you have to fill out the information and be ready to break it down in order to get the help you need. It's really important.
Right. You have to be able to be. I tell my clients this: you need to be able to be vulnerable, and to let. If it's not me, then another financial coach in to understand what exactly are the nuts and bolts of your situation. And I tell my folks this: I'm not here to criticize you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to condemn you for wherever you may be. You already feel that way yourself, right?
Yes, yes.
There's shame when people walk into the door.
Yes.
There's embarrassment when people walk into the door, right? And so it's my job then as their coach to hold, metaphorically speaking, hold their hand and serve them to the best of my ability. I'm a man of faith, right? So anyone that allows me to, I pray with my clients as well. And we have to build such a strong rapport with one another. This is beyond coaching. Like, we're building a friendship here.
Yes.
And as your friend, it is my responsibility, because I've taken this stance. It's my responsibility to show you, because it can be done. I've done it, and I've shown a bunch of other people how to do it. It's my job to show you how to transform into a good steward of money.
Does the Bible talk about being a good steward when it comes to money, or those issues are not quite? But I'm sure I've heard that concept before biblically.
Yeah, it does. I'm not super well versed in all things scripture, but I do know this. There is one verse, and I wish I had the passage on the top of my head, but I'm going to paraphrase here.
Go ahead.
Right, but it does talk about how if you can be faithful over few, right, then you can be ruler over many. I hope I'm quoting that right.
You're as good as it gets.
But I know that in the passage it talks about being faithful over few.
Yes.
I want to touch on this for a second.
Please.
I've worked with individuals in the past who think, hey, you know what? I make a great income for myself. I do not need to budget, Corben. I have a surplus of money every single month. I'm doing well I do not need to budget, Corben. So help me with other things. Help me with the investing. Help me with learning how to maximize my dollars.
Now you're talking about a whole different level now.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Let's go there. Let's go.
But I tell folks this, and I think I'm skipping steps a little bit.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Because this is a whole nother level. I want to talk about this level.
Okay. So the individuals who make a surplus of dollars, who feel as though they do not need a budget, I tell folks this, because I see it all the time. When you have an excess of money, you feel as though you can somewhat be a little bit frivolous with those dollars.
Yes.
You can splurge just a little bit than what the common person could do.
Yes.
Right? But frivolous spending, impulsive spending, that grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And I've seen, and you know this, I'm sure, very well. Think about compound interest, right? Mm-hmm. Think about how things compound when we just give a little over time and over time and over time, and it grows and it grows and it grows after year after year after year, right? That frivolous spending, if you were really paying attention to tracking your expenses, that's a whole nother topic that I want to get on my soapbox about. But if you're tracking your expenses very diligently, knowing where every single dollar is going, I'm the kind of coach, I track my money down to the cent. And so for my clients who feel they don't need to budget, I tell my folks, well, I think then there's a little bit of crumbs over here, or there's a little bit of dollars over here that aren't accounted for, that if we could account for them, you might be able to see your investments grow at a rate that you're not seeing right now, because you're blowing some money over here. You're frivolously spending over here.
Indeed. Come on.
Right? And if we can taper back, and if we can get you on not a strict budget, let's cancel out the word budget, because I think people kind of feel restricted by that word. It feels like a straitjacket. Right? Let's just say spending plan. If we can get you on a detailed spending plan, then all that frivolous shopping that you might want to do, we can allocate a portion of your money for that.
And it's so important, even if you have high net worth.
Right.
You know, anything could happen. Mm-hmm. You know, accidents, you get sick, or your business could be in a lull, or anything where that money is not consistently coming in, that $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. Right. It's not coming in like it used to.
Right.
And the spending habits we set up over here, where we could have saved maybe 100 G.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about in the level that we're dealing with now. Important. Corben Wilson, one-on-one financial coach, Miles Thousand, breaking it down, how to become better stewards of our money. Well, you know what? As you look at this thing, and we talked about this earlier, most of us were never taught this in schools. The schools didn't think we needed this information. I don't know how that happened. Mm-hmm. Colleges didn't think we needed this information. Most of us went through school not knowing how to balance a checkbook. And then we get in life and we're trying to invest and do things like that and try to make the right moves.
Right.
How can you possibly win?
Right. It's you're setting yourself up for failure.
Wow.
Really. And I always like to go back on this because it's worth repeating. If you've been living in a cycle of improper money management for so long, it could feel like a daunting task to get up and out of that and do something different and see something different and experience something different for yourself. It may seem too good to be true, but I'm here to tell folks, the process of becoming a good steward of money, this is not a difficult task. If anything, all it takes is a little bit of grit, and it takes the willingness to show up for yourself. And here's what I mean. I'm not sure if you've ever done therapy before or gone to see a therapist or a counselor or a marriage counselor, but what I see when I've gone for myself, when I meet with my therapist, I go roughly maybe every 2 weeks. I'm consistently meeting with this person and talking about my situation and gleaming and getting advice, to get up and out of my situation. The best thing I can see, my most successful clients are the ones that keep a rhythm with me, momentum. We meet consistently. I call this the biggest thing, and shout out to Chris Frazier. This is the business mentor that I just met up with not too long ago. He gave me this, he coined this, and I'm using it in my business, and I love it. We call it the payday pause. When you get paid, I tell my clients, when you get paid, I want you to pause. And I want you to check in with me. That's going to be our rhythm. Most folks are paid on a bi-weekly basis.
Right.
So that's when you know you want to check in with your coach. When you get paid, I want you to pause. And we're going to do what's called the paycheck allocation exercise. This answers the question, what does your money need to do for you today? And if we strategize that money very diligently, that means we're setting yourself up for success for next pay period.
Corben Wilson here from Sacramento. Actually going back to Sac City tonight. Your basketball team is doing well up there. I mean, they're doing pretty well, Sacramento Kings. I'm pretty surprised.
Shout out to them.
What they're doing. Your wife is here. You guys are both going to be heading back to Sacramento tonight. Congratulations on that new place, new house, beautiful house.
Thank you.
You guys have. No kids yet, but
no kids yet.
Okay, keep me up to date with that. Corben Wilson, one-on-one financial coach, Miles Thousand, putting it down, and of course teaching us to become better stewards of our money. How can people contact you if they want to talk to you about getting a breakdown and an assessment?
Perfect. So if you're looking to get a breakdown and assessment and talk about your situation, contact me or go to my website, miles1000financial.com. That's MYLES 1000financial.com. We'll have a stress-free conversation, and I will show you how to become a good steward of your money. Someone who is diligent, responsible, trustworthy, and efficient with managing your money. And remember, in closing, we're going to learn how to set financial goals, clear ones at that. We're going to develop a money game plan for you. We're going to create strategic systems for your money. And ultimately, we're going to help you move with discipline to maintain that standard. Stewardship of money is about consistency and doing this every single day, putting in the reps.
Corben Wilson, Miles Thousand, one-on-one financial coaching. One more time, Corben, how do people reach you?
Miles1000financial.com. That's MYLES 1000financial.com.